Well, good morning. Welcome to the 11:11 gathering. This is Frank in Williamsburg. And if you're joining us live or if you're joining us by the recording, we're very happy to see you here as we continue our journey through the book that is called Faith Without Religion. Today we're at entry number 64, and the title of that is The Importance of the Little Things. It is the small things that really make a difference, says God. When all added up together, the small things that slipped past your attention or did not seem to really matter, these can amass to be something of incredible significance. This is particularly important from two very different perspectives. The small things that you do and the small things that you do not do. In the former case, they can produce a sudden and unexpected blessing. They will also have laid up some treasure for you in heaven. In the latter case, not only have you heaped unnecessary wood, hay, and stubble upon your platform in heaven, but you have also deprived yourself of an earthly blessing. There is an important lesson here. People do not realize that in the act of not doing something, that they are still adding to their platform. It is therefore as bad to not take an action that you know you should be doing as it is to take an action that you know you should not be doing. It's easy enough to not take a refreshing time or to not go through with a fast or something else that you had agreed upon. You must therefore understand that all actions or inactions have a consequence. Imagine you are hanging over the edge of a cliff on a rope. Every righteous thought that you have adds one tiny strand to the rope. But every action that you take that is in accordance with my will for your life causes you to be pulled up one tiny measure towards the top. In contrast, every action that you should take but do not causes you to be lowered one measure. Every unrighteous thought that you allow into your soul destroys one strand of your rope. Where are you? Are you going up or are you going down? Is your rope getting thinner? Realize that this is also not satisfactory to just remain stationary and increase the thickness of the rope. Be careful that it does not get so thick that you can no longer hold on to it. Let us consider what a righteous life looks like, says God. This will enable you to see how closely you are walking in relation to the desired path. You will now know the importance of having a structured life. Without this, your daily walk will be subject to the whims of the flesh, and you need only to be interested in a spirit-led life. Wow. Excuse me. Well, there's a lot of things in there. I like the little visual of dangling from the rope. So the things that you don't do, things that you do wrong, they're making the rope thinner and it's lowering you down. When you act on what you're supposed to be doing, you follow God's plan for your life, you're not only getting a better rope, but they're pulling you towards the top. And we must all continue to try and move upwards. You know, and these analogies don't mean stuff to everybody, but I strongly believe that that's why the Messiah, when he was on the earth, constantly spoke in parables, because people relate to stories. In fact, in the sales world that I exist in a lot of the time, we have an adage in there that says, facts tell, but stories sell. So if you really want to get somebody on board with something. You tell them a story that they can relate to, create a visual in their mind that they can relate to. And it's particularly important when you're talking to people about the difference of living a Christ-centered life as opposed to a self-centered life. You can relate stories to them. The testimonies, the power of your own testimony is very significant, because people will relate to that. You know, I once heard somebody say, I'd much rather see a sermon than listen to one. So in other words, the way that you're being and the things that you do daily in your life have a greater impact on people than anything that you can get out by just preaching at them. Let your preaching be done by your example and what you're being in the world. Are you a calm, thoughtful, compassionate, loving person that looks for opportunities to help others? Or do you lapse into criticism and mocking and gossip and those kind of things? Now, let me be the first to raise my hand and say I've definitely been in that camp. And we often find it very easy just to do the wrong thing in that regard, particularly when we're around other people. Because if they start doing something that's maybe negative towards somebody else, it's very easy to just join in. But we need to be the people that stand up and don't join in. And that's not always easy. But like I said, it's the importance of the little things. You not joining in, well, if you consistently do that, then the people will suddenly notice some difference. And then they'll start asking you, hey, I noticed that you never join in when we're doing this. And they'll ask you why. And then you can tell them, because God's Spirit will emanate from you and will have an impact on them. So try it today. Just try being kind to everyone that you interact with today, regardless of how they're being to you. And just see what happens. And I promise you, you'll get to the end of the day and you'll feel really good, because it's a blessing. Well, thanks for joining us today. We'll look forward to seeing you back here tomorrow at 11:11, and we'll continue our journey through the book. Have a blessed day.